Let's talk about open source AI today, and more specifically, the models you can download and run yourself. You'll often hear these called open models. More precisely, many are open weight models. The weights are the learned numerical values that make the model work. If those weights are available, you can often download and run the model yourself. That's very different from a closed model. With a closed model, you usually send your request to a company's service. Their computers run the model and return the answer. With an open weight model, you can potentially run the model on your own computer or your own servers. And that changes the trade-offs. So picture two boxes on the whiteboard. On the left, write closed models. On the right, write open models. Under closed models, place two ideas: convenience and peak capability. The strongest closed models are usually easy to access. You open an app or connect an API, and the provider handles the difficult infrastructure. They also tend to offer some of the strongest overall performance. Now move to the open model side. Write privacy, cost control, and independence. Privacy comes from where the model runs. If you run a model locally, sensitive information can stay on your own machine instead of being sent to an outside model provider. That can matter when you're working with internal documents, customer information, or private company data. Next is cost control. Downloading a model doesn't mean computing is free. You still need hardware, electricity, maintenance, or rented servers. But you're not necessarily paying a provider every time the model processes another request. At enough volume, that can change the economics. Then there's independence. If you control the model and where it runs, you have more control over how the system is configured and deployed. Now, draw a triangle between the two boxes. At one corner, write quality. At another, privacy. At the third, cost and control. Think of this as the trade triangle. Closed models often make sense when you want the easiest setup and the strongest available performance. Open models become attractive when privacy, predictable costs, customization, or control matter more. And the gap in capability has narrowed significantly. Smaller open-weight models can now handle useful tasks like summarizing documents, extracting information, classifying messages, writing drafts, and assisting with code. Some can even run on capable consumer computers. That doesn't mean a laptop model is automatically equal to the best closed model. This is where the comparison needs to stay honest. Large closed models may still perform better on difficult reasoning, complex coding, unusual edge cases, or tasks requiring the highest reliability. Running models yourself also creates work. You may need to choose the right model, configure it, manage hardware, handle updates, and secure the system. So open doesn't automatically mean easier. Let's make this practical. Imagine a company needs to classify thousands of private customer messages every day. The task is fairly narrow. Read the message, identify its category, return a structured label. You could send every message to a large closed model, or you could test a smaller open model running on infrastructure you control. If that smaller model reaches the accuracy you need, something interesting happens. You may not need the most capable model in the world. You need a model that's capable enough for this specific job. And if it's good enough, cheaper to operate, and keeps sensitive data under your control, it may be the better business choice. That's the important idea. AI isn't always about choosing the smartest model. It's about choosing the right model for the task. So to recap, closed models often give you convenience and access to peak capability. Open-weight models give you more options around privacy, cost control, customization, and independence. Neither side automatically wins. For many everyday business tasks, a smaller private model that does the job well may be more useful than the largest model available. Save this idea, because the free tier of the future may not be a limited plan. It may simply be a download.